Okay, I'd like to call the meeting of the Kane County Forest Preserve Commission to order. That we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and have Mr. Ford lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pat, please call the roll.
Present. Cotter.
Here.
Guerrero. Here. Castro. Here. Gallo. Here. Donahue.
Here.
Ford. Here. Rock.
Here.
Dillon.
Here.
Kane.
Here.
Kenneth.
Here.
Cesar.
Here.
Lash. Lewis.
Here.
Molina. Powell.
Here.
Jacko.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Scott. Taylor. Vasquez.
Here.
All right, the first item of business is approval of the minutes from the April 8th meeting, moved by Mr. Ford, second by Mr. Fraz. Any questions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. We have one speaker signed up to speak this morning, Linda Schramm. Linda, I'd ask that you state your address for the minutes and then limit your comments to 3 minutes, please.
Okay. Linda Schramm, it's Shady Lane, Elgin. Just one quick thing.
Linda.
I haven't heard any...
We can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, hello. Yeah, I haven't heard anything for a couple months. Just wanted to get a update on the ComEd Grand Prairie project, in particular by Muirhead Springs. I'm interested if the Forest Preserve has made any deal with ComEd, and just an update on that, if they are, you know, what that was through the railroad tracks over there by Muirhead Springs. Just an update on that, please.
All right.
Provided to the ICC, and everything's going through that ICC process. So I believe you've got all the information on that.
There's no change in the process. We don't have any action item on our agenda this morning, and it's in the hands of the ICC at this point.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, next item is approval of the bills. Is there a motion to approve the bills?
I'll move them.
Moved by Ms. Wolnicki, second by Mr. Heyman. Any discussion on the bills? Hearing none, Pat, please call the roll.
Allen.
Aye.
Cotter. Yes. Guerrero. Yes. Castro.
Yes.
Gallo.
Yes.
Donahue.
Yes.
Yes. Rock.
Yes.
Dillon. Yes. Kane.
Yes.
Kenneth.
Yes.
Cesar.
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
Powell.
Yes.
Jacko.
Yes.
Silva. Smith.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Yes.
The bills are approved. We have 3 bids for approval this morning. The first is reflected in Forest Preserve Resolution 2298. It's a resolution authorizing audit service retention contract. Resolution 2299 is a resolution authorizing retention of engineering services for the Raymond Street Trail reroute. And Resolution 2300 is accepting a bid for the removal of refuse and recycling from Forest Preserve property. All 3 of those resolutions are moved by Mr. Kenyon, second by Mrs. Allen. Any discussion?
I had a question.
Mr. Shefflow?
It's not really directly on that resolution, but the Raymond Street Bridge, I guess it's or the Raymond Street Bike Trail. We're talking about tunneling that railroad, and I think it escaped me that we're talking about a $2 million tunnel, rough guesstimate. Not too far south of that, where we would be proposing this tunnel, there already is a tunnel on the surface street. I think it's in the vicinity of Riverwalk, I think is the name of that street. And those are really quiet neighborhood streets. It seems to me it might be, have we looked at, I know we talked about it in terms of a temporary fix, that we couldn't use the surface streets, or South Elgin wouldn't permit it. But in terms of a permanent fix, maybe we need to, or is there any thought to going back to South Elgin? We could improve those roads or add a bike trail along the side of Raymond Street. You're right in the same vicinity. I'm just wondering if that's something we can look at.
Right. We've been working very closely with South Elgin as well as the railroad, and we've looked at these various alternate routes. The one you mentioned down the roadway to get us back over to the existing Fox River Trail. South Elgin has denied our request to use Raymond Street. There's just not enough right-of-way there to be able to accommodate a trail off there. Additionally, with that one area under that, there's already a tunnel for the roadway. That's a one-lane road. The railroad has denied our request to use that as well. The railroad has suggested this alternate way to get our connection back to the Fox River Trail. So that's why we are moving forward with an engineering proposal. Again, it looks like the best alternative at this point between the village and the railroad.
So the railroad is denying really the surface road up by the forward facility and the tunnel. Okay.
Yes.
All right, any other questions or discussion, Mr. Kenyon?
You know, it's such a good idea, and I never thought of it, but nobody will cooperate with this idea, and it would be, save $500,000, right?
Or $1.5 million.
Huh?
Or $1.5 million.
$1.5 million, and nobody will cooperate to do it. I mean, his idea is great, but nobody will cooperate with it, and if you can't get the railroad to do it,
Well, if there's not ample right-of-way there along the street, we'd have to...
You can just get a car through it.
Right,
Right, but there's
even
almost
along
no-
Raymond Street, we'd have to either have a voluntary sale of
And the road is
property
the road
or
is
condemnation.
lousy.
Right.
We probably have to spend more money to make that road better. But the idea has merit.
I grew up riding my bike on the street, but that's just me.
Without a helmet. Right.
What was the last time?
Right.
What was the last time?
Okay, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, Pat, please call the roll.
Audra?
Yes.
Ferrero? Yes. Castro?
Yes.
Ramos?
Yes.
Donahue?
Yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Gillum?
Yes.
Damon?
Yes.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Lazar?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Pollock?
Yes.
Cheflo?
Yes.
Silva? Yes. Smith?
Yes.
Vasquez?
Yes.
Mackey?
Yes.
Resolutions 2298 through 2300 are approved. Under Latin acquisition, we have one resolution this morning, Resolution 2301. It's a resolution authorizing the acquisition of the Antos property. Moved by Mr. Vasquez, second by Mr. Davis. This is property that we've received a grant on. It's really a housekeeping matter to pass the authorizing resolution to enter into the contract to acquire the property. Any discussion? Hearing none, Pat, please call the roll.
Yes.
Ferrero? Yes. Castro? Yes. Ramos?
Yes.
Donahue?
Yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Gillum?
Yes.
Damon?
Yes.
Kenyon? Lazar?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Pollock?
Yes.
Cheflo?
Yes.
Silva?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Vasquez?
Yes.
Mackey?
Yes.
Resolution 2301 is approved. Under new business, or the business section of the agenda, we have a number of resolutions. The Settlers Hill resolutions we will take as a group first. That's resolutions 2302, 2303, and 2304. I'll entertain a motion to approve those. Moved by Mr. Donahue, second by Mr. Lewis. These resolutions have been a long time in the making, and they really coordinate actually a number of issues. One is approving the concept for moving forward with the Settlers Hill Master Plan, but also clarifying our relationship with Waste Management and our licensee at the golf course regarding repairs and maintenance that are mandated as a result of the environmental issues that have to be dealt with at the landfill. This also includes a resolution of a claim as it relates to the work that was done on the golf course in prior years with respect to funds being paid by Waste Management to the Forest Preserve District, part of which will be conveyed to the licensee for reimbursement for some of the revenue impact that those repairs caused on the golf course. So that's a comprehensive resolution. I understand that as it relates to the land use issues, the county has a similar resolution that's coming along as well, and so we can expect to deal with that at the county board as well in the future. I'll open this up to discussion. Any comments or questions from the commission? Mr. Donahue?
I just wanted to thank President Hochheit, Jerry Hodge, Pat Canale, and Monica Myers for your hard work on these agreements. I know a lot of time and effort went into bringing these here today, and this really marks the second major milestone now in the implementation of the Settlers Hill Master Plan, the first one being the adoption of the master plan itself in October of 2012. And now with the adoption of these agreements, it does pave the way for us to move on with the business of implementing the various aspects of the plan. So thank you very much for all the hard work and time that was put into this.
Just one comment on the issue of indemnity. There is concern, and there has been concern throughout the entire process about indemnity for environmental issues. The revised agreement moving forward preserves the indemnity obligation of waste management as it relates to environmental issues, with the exception that if the county or the Forest Preserve District caused an environmental problem based on our activities out there, we would be responsible for that. So it's important as we move forward, as we do any improvements or engage in our uses out there, that we keep that in mind as we do design plans and implementation. Mr. Lewis?
I just want to say thank you very much to Mr. Donahue, his leadership and determination, steadfast commitment to causing this to happen, I believe is the reason that we have the opportunity to vote on these resolutions. So I think your leadership has been just excellent on it, and I'm very pleased to affirm the resolutions.
Okay. All right. If there are no further questions and there is no further discussion, I'll ask Pat to call the roll.
Yes.
Rivera? Yes. Castro? Yes. Gallo?
Yes.
Donahue?
Yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Fry?
Yes.
Gillen? Yes. Davis?
Yes.
Tennant?
Yes.
Bizarre?
Yes.
Lash? Yes. Lewis?
Yes.
Pollock?
Yes.
Beckwell?
Yes.
Gillen? Yes. Smith?
Yes.
Taylor? Yes. Vasquez?
Yes.
Yes.
Resolutions 2302 through 2304 are approved, and I would like to thank Mr. Donahue as well for his perseverance on this. It certainly helped us get to this point sooner than we otherwise would have. All right, the next two resolutions I'm going to defer till after executive session. We'll have a brief executive session to discuss those first. We do have an ordinance this morning, Ordinance 501, which is our annual ordinance for the budget appropriation. I'll ask the motion to approve that. Moved by Mr. Vasquez. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Allen. Discussion. This is our annual budget appropriation ordinance. This comes to us with a recommendation from both the Finance and Executive Committees. It maintains our commitment to freeze the real estate tax levy. The levy is frozen, and we basically have reallocated resources internally to maximize the utility of the resources within those limits that we have. The big picture issue, just to keep in mind, as you look at your property tax bills, 82% roughly of the amount that you pay to the Forest Preserve District is for debt service on our bonds. And so 18% of that is really our operations and maintenance of the Forest Preserve District. And with time, that 82% will go away. In fact, in 2016 and 2017, roughly half of that will go away, so we'll see a significant reduction in the levy. And so I think our staff does a great job with really maximizing the effort of our full and part-time staff, coupled with the help that we get from our volunteer base to provide great facilities for the public. And it's not easy because obviously as the public begins to use our preserves, the demands are greater. So This is a balanced budget. Again, it's a conservative budget, and I think that's the basis on which the committee's advanced that for approval today. I'll open the discussion up for questions. Mr. Vasquez?
Yeah, John, I just want to thank the staff for their hard work in presenting to us I think, a very good, balanced budget, and, just caution that we need to start thinking about our future, because we can't continue to freeze that levy forever with the demands and our growth that we've taken on. So I ask that you guys consider the future.
One of the concepts we did talk about, even within a levy freeze, you can freeze the levy on existing properties, but accept additional revenue from new construction. And as the economy tends to improve, that could be a source for additional funds to help compensate for the growth and the needs we have. But that'll be an issue for discussion next year as we consider our budget. All right,
John.
Any further comments, Mr. Shefflow?
Yeah, I'm going to vote against this budget, and while I don't disagree with any of the comments that have been made, in order to keep the levy flat or keep increases to a minimum, we have to hold the line on spending. And so this budget, as my rough numbers, increases Forest Reserve spending by 5% and increases payroll spending by 3%. I quickly looked at CPI numbers, and they're like 1.9%. So as we continue to increase spending, there's going to be a constant increase in the demand for revenue, whether it's from sales tax or property tax or from user fees. And so for that reason, I'm going to vote no.
Okay. All right, any other comments or questions? Hearing none, Pat, please call the roll.
Allen? Aye. Hopper?
Yes.
Rivera? Yes. Castro? Yes. Devos?
Yes.
Donahue?
Yes.
Ford? Yes. Braz?
Yes.
Gillum? Yes. Kane?
Yes.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Kazar?
Yes.
Lash? Yes. Lewis?
Yes.
Pollock? Yes. Shefflow?
No.
Silva? Yes. Smith?
Yes.
Taylor? Yes. Vasquez?
Yes.
Yes.
Ordinance 501 is approved, and I do want to echo the comments of Mr. Vasquez, thanking our staff, Ken Stanish in particular, but our department heads and everyone who cooperates in making the budget process easier. The understanding of the department heads and submitting their budget requests makes the process realistic and allows us to get to this vote a lot easier. So thank you to everyone that was involved in that process. All right, I'm going to take a motion to place on file the department reports, moved by Ms. Castro, second by Mr. Lewis. Any questions on the reports? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then I'm going to entertain a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing contracts. Moved by Mr. Ford, second by Ms. Castro. Pat, please call the roll.
Allen? Aye. Hopper?
Yes.
Rivera? Yes. Castro? Yes. Devos?
Yes.
Donahue?
Yes.
Braz?
Yes.
Gillum?
Yes.
Kane?
Yes.
Kenyon? Kazar?
Yes.
Lash? Yes. Lewis?
Yes.
Pollock? Yes. Shefflow?
Yes.
Silva? Yes. Smith?
Yes.
Taylor? Yes. Vasquez?
Yes.
Benecchi? Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Motion carries. So we have a county board agenda to follow up with shortly. We have two items of business left on our agenda this morning. Forest Preserve Resolutions 2305 and 2306. First, I'll ask for a motion to approve those. Moved by Mr. Vasquez, second by Mr. Donahue. Resolution 2305 is authorizing an agreement in connection with certain outstanding issues with respect to our license agreement in relation to the Cougars and baseball operation. And 2306 is a resolution authorizing a second amended and restated license agreement with respect to the future of the relationship with the Cougars. These resolutions come to us after several years of dealing with an economic downturn and the impact that's had on the baseball operation. Through the downturn in the economy, the baseball operations continued to operate there and pay a portion of the license fees that were due. With this agreement, there is a new investment of capital that will come from an outside party into the Cougars relationship, which will allow them to significantly pay down and refinance their existing third-party indebtedness, and it will work toward paying back a significant portion of the arrearage that is outstanding under the license agreement, and extend their license agreement for an additional period of time beyond the time frame in which the Forest Preserve has bond obligations with respect to stadium improvements. So these two agreements are, at least in my opinion, the best resolution to a somewhat difficult circumstance that we've been dealing with. We've always had a positive relationship with the operation there, and I think the public will, the feedback we get has always been positive, and we think it's in the best interest of the community and the district to move forward, and as part of that, we have to move forward with these two agreements. So we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Mr. Fraz?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I just think this is at a time with the recession, these minor league ball clubs have been beat up just like every other business, but maybe particularly so because of the nature of them. With our remodeled stadium, with this new management agreement, and with our Cubs affiliation, I don't think we could be in a better position moving forward. I want to thank our legal counsel, staff, and in particular, John, your leadership throughout this process.
Thank you. Mr. Vasquez?
Play ball.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Call the question.
Hearing none, Pat, please call the roll.
Yes.
Yes.
Castro.
Yes.
Davos.
Yes.
Donahue.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Fry. Dillon.
Yes.
Kane.
Yes.
Kane.
Yes.
Lazar.
Yes.
Rash. Yes. Lewis.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Sheffield.
Yes.
Silva. Yes. Smith.
Yes.
Taylor. Yes. Vasquez.
Yes.
Cornelius.
Yes.
Resolutions 2305 and 2306 are approved. Next item of business is a motion to adjourn. Moved by Mr. Heyman, second by Mr. Kenyon. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.
All right, nice job.